Low key, no offense, but you know, at that time it felt like it was everyone's mission to convert everybody, but same thing.
I thought he was about to say, no offense, Jesus is not Korean. All right, welcome back to a highly energetic episode of Careful Boys.
Oh shit, turn it up.
This is the most energy we've had all year.
We got Nick and Kalyne. We got Regular Joe, Regular Anthony, and we got Cool Joe.
Cool Joe's in the building.
Hey, here's something. Are you a religious person, would you say?
I would say yes.
Okay, are you like non-denominational Christian? What's
non-binary Christian?
Oh, Christian Protestant?
Yeah.
All right, let's say that you have to pick a different religion.
Oh yeah.
Which one is it gonna be?
That's a great question.
And for the rest of you, if you're not religious, let's say you have to pick one.
Oh dude, I
That's
know
gonna
my
be your lifestyle, that's gonna be your household.
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
gonna be how you
religious. I'll
educate.
pick Christianity then.
Easy.
No, you gotta do that. You gotta do that.
That's why he's Cool Joe, man.
Cool Joe.
If I had
If you have to, and this is gonna be how you
Jewish.
kids. Jewish?
Yeah, they're well.
That's interesting. How come? Why Jewish?
Because Hannah says we have to join a synagogue.
She really said that? She's Jewish?
No.
Wait, what the fuck's happening here?
Because we're talking about like how. Okay, so we were talking about how kids do better in a religious community because it's more structured. You also have like other parents that believe in the same thing, so they'll help you also teach the same things, and you have like a community effort.
Yeah.
So we were just going down the list because I was like, well, you're Welsh, right? And there's this whole movement in Wales for them to speak the Gaelic again and like do everything. And there's also like a group that's like trying to bring back like Welsh witch shit, you know? And I was like, but then we need to give them some time to work it out because they're so new that not everyone's on board. They don't have a long like system. So we're like, who's got a really good long time system? And we're like, well, Christians do, but they still like, they're not really connected. But we're like, what's the original Christians? And it's like before Christians, Jewish.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, and then they're pretty strict. They have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It was between Mormon and Jewish.
Oh, Mormon?
Really, Mormon.
Okay.
Because it's kind of similar, right? Like they have big families.
Yeah.
They're strict on their
Money.
like that too. They have really big funds.
They don't drink.
They don't drink.
Yeah.
And then they're strict on
They
like
promote good habits,
Yeah.
good lifestyle.
yeah. So I was like, okay, those two are cool.
Yeah.
But the Mormon Church, I love Salt Lake City, but I also love South Park, and I don't think I'd be able to.
Oh.
Cause they did the Book of Mormon,
There's some Mormons at like South Park.
but they're not real Mormons.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do something, we're gonna go like hard.
Okay.
Like if I go Jewish, I'm gonna go Orthodox with the curls and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go halfway Jewish.
How come not?
You got a big nose?
Plastic surgery. You can do it.
You can do it. Get the extendo.
Why not the Unification Church?
The Moonies? Yeah. Oh, this too much drama, dude.
Why not?
It's unpopular in Japan right now because
Because of Shinzo Abe?
Yeah, the guy who assassinated him, his parents got ruined by the Moonies.
Okay.
So that's why he assassinated the Prime Minister of Japan. So
Why not go back to Seventh-day Adventism?
Yeah, just go back to what you know.
Because that's not the prompt, though, right?
Too small.
Well, you can if you're not religious now.
All right, fair enough.
You can go back to the one that you were raised in, but you said it because it's too small.
Too small.
Oh, you're looking for like
Network's
a
too
power
small.
network, huh?
They're not, and also, hot take, but I don't think Christians today are as hardcore as Christians before in like being stern with their shit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think like Jewish, Muslim, yeah, most like Jewish and Muslim are very strict with their shit.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, Amish Christian, they're strict with their shit, right? Like they're about it. But I feel like all the other Christians are kind of like halfway in, halfway out. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard because it has to be adaptive in some way to like societal life, right? It's almost impossible to be like biblical Christian and live in America.
but like, yeah, like European Christian, I feel like they're more like, I'm gonna go ceremonially. Like Japanese Buddhists, they go ceremonially. They're not really Buddhists, you know? So like, I want to do the hardcore shit. If I'm
You
want to
be hardcore?
I'm a believe. I'm
I'm a
gonna be
hardcore guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like Westboro Baptist Church, but I don't think they're hardcore, but I don't think they're good.
That sounds like a game.
That's the appeal, really.
Or Baptist, yeah. Damn, yeah. What about you, Anthony? What religion would you choose if you had to?
If I had to,
You have to.
Jewish or Muslim, that's it for me. That's my final answer.
Are there Jewish Asians?
Yeah, Rob Schneider.
I don't know.
He's Filipino and Jewish.
Is he? Oh shit.
So I would say in the default that I was raised Buddhist, I won't choose Buddhism, but I would say from a practical standpoint, maybe Catholic.
Wow.
I know.
Is Nina? Is she?
Well,
from a Catholic
she
family?
also is not religious, but it's like within the family and the whole Filipino.
It's their family value.
Catholic is very it's just consistent. It's present. All the weddings we go to, you know what I mean. It just is right there. I actually went to Catholic church a lot when I was younger because of like my pseudo godparents. My parents would just make us go to church sometimes, even though it didn't make sense. So I'm like very familiar with it. From a non-practical answer, Catholic because of the swag.
You like the clothes, huh?
What are the clothes?
I said swag. I don't know about the clothes.
Yeah, I'm like,
What are the clothes?
What's this?
No, when the guys on the stage, not you.
Like the Cardinals?
He's gonna be swinging this thing, dude.
Oh, the nuns.
The nuns in them.
about the college.
Like the actual, from like the actual buildings to like the way that you see them portrayed in like movies. And
You like the Catholic Pinterest?
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean?
Like the mood board.
Yeah, you like the mood board. Yeah, exactly.
It's so epic. It's just so fucking, regal and shit.
Got it.
Very traditional.
That's important.
The churches are always way crazier.
What do you think of the priest?
He likes the pimp. He likes the pimp aesthetic.
How? So then let's.
Gold cup, cane.
Yeah.
The music.
Pimp aesthetic.
What are the top 3 pros of being Buddhist?
Pros?
Yeah.
Being Buddhist.
You don't have to change shit if you're Buddhist. That's why.
Yeah, I feel like
You live your life.
Nirvana.
there's definitely something about the idea that like Buddha said he wasn't like a god, and it makes it feel in a weird way like relatable and or attainable, like the practices, versus like this,
Alt-right.
yeah, like you have to service your entire being to like try and live in the ways in the shadow almost of something, a deity that's beyond your comprehension. So it's all faith. There's something about Buddhism that like felt like I don't want to say practical and like downplayed in that sense, but
It's too self-helpy.
So,
relatable in a weird way.
why is it that like you said growing up, that's why you wouldn't go into?
Well, it's because I was raised like that. My parents are Buddhists, but then based on
What don't you like about it though? Being that
it's not that I don't like it. It's just that like when you're forced to
the
practice
default?
something, yeah, when it's your default. Sometimes I feel like when it comes to belief, like you kind of have to walk your own road to believing. You know what I mean? But if you're like, bless my parents, but I don't think they were super articulate when it came to those things, and they're not super devout. I think it was very like traditional in that like we have like a shrine, and you're supposed like my mom would always yell at me to make sure that I pray in order to like.
Do you do the thing where like if a relative dies, you have to put like the food on the?
Always, yeah.
You give your grandma orange.
Yeah, we're always burning the incense. I'm always talking to my dead relatives, you know what I mean? I'm always asking for the same type of things of like, luck and prosperity and like finance and all that stuff. It felt like a practice, but without like the core belief that like where I found an understanding of why.
It's ceremonial.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean by like people are ceremonial is like their religion is culture and ceremony. They're not devout.
It was a chore to go to the temple all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the way that my mom would make it, like you have to do this, and you know what I mean? It just didn't, it felt like a chore. So I don't think like I grew up with this like innate curiosity of like the belief system in it. But I think when I got older learning about it, I thought things were really...
There's a lot to appreciate.
Really cool. Yeah, a lot to appreciate. Especially, and then things like Christianity, I think when I was introduced to like God and Christianity in high school, I was at a very Korean high school, so it was like Christianity everywhere. And I feel like low key, no offense, but at that time it felt like it was everyone's fucking mission to convert everybody, but same thing.
I thought he was about to say, no offense, Jesus is not Korean.
But you know what I mean? It was like,
I thought you were gonna say that shit. I was like, no, Anthony, no.
Don't say it.
and I remember like, you know, especially coming from like a Buddhist household too. Like one of my aunties, she's a monk, right? So when you're trying to learn about a different religion and stuff like that, and you're talking to somebody who's maybe not the most articulate as well, you can get thrown off of a certain path. I remember talking to somebody who was trying super hard to like recruit me into like the Christian club and convert me and bring them to the church, and it was very powerful at Sunny Hills High School, you know what I'm saying? Again, all good intentions, I see that very clearly, but I remember having this conversation being like, okay, so you're saying my auntie, like she's a monk, like a Buddhist monk, because she doesn't like acknowledge Jesus as her savior, that he died on the cross for her sins and stuff, that she's gonna go to hell. And you know, this homie was like, yes.
That's how I felt.
Straight up.
It's either all or nothing, though.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Commit or
Yeah.
not.
And you know,
Bring it on, all or nothing.
removing myself, I can get it, whether or not I believe it, but a part of that at that time was so jarring too.
Yeah, I mean, you could just run into
the
people
fuck
that
is this?
would ruin it for you that
It would turn you off initially, for sure.
Yeah.
They're just
so-
like militant vegans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, ugh, I like vegetables, but I hate them now.
Yeah.
It still tastes like Jesus.
And then you're
Can you believe there's no Jesus in it?
I think I was also surrounded by so many people that like were like, this is like, you know, I am this religion, blah blah, and they preach it, but at the same time they're still fucking around like high school kids, you know what I mean, like doing all these other things
Hypocrites.
that are sinful and stuff. So you just stop believing in religion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might still believe in God. I do believe in God, but there's religion I don't really believe in, I guess.
Trust
Really like the aspects of it, like some of the teachings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the ideologies I think are fucking spot on.
Yeah.
But then, you know, the human element of it, like, is really kind of can throw you off if you don't meet the right people to like guide you.
Definitely.
And I just don't feel like I met those
You're right.
people.
But it's very hard to meet the right people.
Exactly, which is why like I question it.
Because I feel like very seldomly, the most enthusiastic person trying to talk to you and force you is usually not the right person. Mm-hmm. They're just the person wanting to score the most points.
They're just the loud commenters.
Yeah. Because I probably was that person at one point. Did you grow up Buddhist too?
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? No, I didn't.
I wasn't judging you.
Yeah. I wanted to make you. I want to make you look like.
Based on any particular physicality.
I want to make you look like a bad guy.
You kind of look like Buddha now that
Say
I...
more like Confucianism.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, we didn't grow up religious at all.
No, in no kind of way, whatever.
My dad would always, and I've talked about this before. My mom wanted me to go to private school when I was in 6th grade because she didn't want me to get beat up all the time. So she's like, "Oh, let's put you in a Christian school." And like a couple of our friends were going to Christian school. They liked it, so like, "Hey, let's put you in a Christian school." You know, at the time they thought it would be a better education, and it kind of wasn't. But
It wasn't better than public school?
I don't think so. I didn't think.
You didn't have smaller classes and it was easier to get to know your teachers? None of that happened?
Yeah, it was cool, but I feel it was like a net neutral. Like it wasn't really
okay.
like.
How many people did you have in your class?
It wasn't that many. It was our 7th and. No.
So which religion would you join then?
Christian. It was a Christian school, but I think I would do. I think I'd go Muslim, bro.
Shut the fuck
I go full Muslim, bro.
up. Why?
My man.
Why?
Because of Khabib.
Habib, bro.
That's why? That's so funny.
Okay, look. The one thing, and I think this goes for all of the religions across the board, right? We all know tons of people who claim to be very religious.
But they're all hypocrites.
Exactly. They may not show exactly. Their lifestyle may not represent their beliefs and their religion. If you look at it like very.
Has Khabib like maintained a pretty good demonstration of proper like?
I'll say this. I think some of the dudes that are like that are Muslim, a good amount of them that I've seen example-wise tend to be a lot more disciplined in their life because they have to
Adhere to certain-
adhere to a lot of it, right? Especially when it's like ingrained in their culture. But then again, there's obviously way more examples of that not being the case. And I think that's like that for any religion, you know? Like,
Of course, yeah.
because human nature is always going to overpower like that concept, right? Because we know what needs to be done, the discipline side. But I think for a lot of people that are Muslim, it's built in just because of like the daily practice, right? Like a lot of them do the Ramadan when they do Ramadan. I think that kind of builds that in, especially when you grow up with that. But then again, not always the case. But for me, I would think I'd give that a spin, dude.
Yeah, not always the case, but it is true when you see Muslim people really being Muslim, it's kind of dope.
You go, hey.
Like I like.
I think that's what I like.
Yeah.
Is I like people in communities that practice what they preach. So if I look at like all the Christian communities, I would say like Amish, Mormon, like they're so hardcore, like that. I'm like, oh, okay, you guys are about it.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Like, if I'm gonna go into religion, it's gonna be in the same school of Joe. Like, we're gonna fucking really do that.
But also, we only find the hypocrisy when we're close to it.
Definitely.
So, like, that's the reason why we know so much about
So my number 2.
Adventism being.
Yeah, people look at us and go, "You don't eat pork."
Yeah, they
Oh.
think-
and I'm like, that is pretty true. They do. They're strict with their food. Yeah.
I think my number 2 is like, I want to join a mega church, dude. I kind of
That's like the opposite, dude. The Joel Osteen shit.
yeah. I want to do a fucking mega church.
You want to get the.
Because I bet the Sunday service is dope.
The gemstones, baby.
You know what I mean? Because it's a whole event. The whole family comes out. There's obviously a big giant, and you know, take everything that we're saying with a grain of salt because there's always drawbacks, right? But in my head, I just want to like they have a band, dude. They have a whole fucking.
And their preacher comes down a
zip line?
A zip line.
He blazes in.
This preacher isn't talking through a
Like
mic.
Chris Brown on the strings, remember?
He's not talking to a mic. He's talking through this thing, and it's wireless.
Yeah, he has a Janet Jackson concert
It's
thing.
the tiny little mic. I'm into that.
I'm into that.
I'm into that. I want to be a part of that.
Kind of fresh, dude. See, it's about the swag sometimes.
Kinda like it's just
See you being in love with that, yeah.
because I think it's the community part, right? I think that's the cool thing.
Everybody's attracted to it.
Everyone's
When I go to like fucking like Rome or something, like you go into St. Peter's Basilica, you're like, you see some fucking gangster church, you're like, God was here. And then you go to like these random like Christian like K-Town churches or something like that.
On a
Really-
strip mall.
Yeah, it's just like in the strip mall, it's just in a building. You're just like, man, that belief is here.
But that's where you want to be, dude.
Hey, but you know what? Being part
There's
of
faith here.
Yeah, that's where you want to be,
Faith is here.
dude. God is love.
the church is gonna also cost you mega more.
That's fine, dude. I'll work to the bones for the fucking Jesus, the
Your
Lord.
tithing's gonna be like 90%, dog.
If I truly believe that my religion is gonna be my path to salvation, then yeah, bro, I'll give fucking 15%.
I just want to
You didn't
be.
even give that at Olive Garden, you freaking liar.
Dude, I'm a good tipper, bro. I'm a good tipper. I do like 8%.
Just the tip.
of the time.
I want to be a part of a group though that's like hooked up. So like if I
Hooked up.
yeah, so like
Talking about gangs or you talking about church?
I don't think I think it's the same. for
Wrong
him.
prompt.
because like
Sounds like gangs
what
again.
if I don't know like what if like Biden went to your church and then so like you could be like, hey dude, you know, man, I need a job, and he goes, well, you could work at the White House. Okay. Because like if you're in a connected religion like
Damn, that was quick.
Scientology, you know, like everybody works together.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like you want to be with a successful group. If a cult hits me up and I see what they're doing and what they're wearing and where they're, I'm like, man, you guys aren't successful.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Nah.
but if a cult, like a good one,
Y'all wearing Quicksilver?
dude, if they came over and they're like,
More of a Billabong guy.
Yeah, damn.
we're like, they all drive Lambos.
Yeah.
They're like a pyramid
Not a
scam.
Volcom in sight.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's interesting. We're talking about religion in such a way that is like the lifestyle and the practices of like our this existence, but not really referencing like the afterlife element.
No. Scamming these religions completely.
Because if we was going there, then I'm like, yo, I've always been curious about the whole 70 virgins waiting at the doorstep shit. You know what I'm saying?
Come on over, brother. Come on over.
I'm just saying. That always sounded. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, there's 70 incels that show up.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't know that yet.
But it's a good community.
He gets there and they're like, oh, we thought you were a virgin.
Shit.
No one thinks this guy's a virgin. Come on.
Everybody. Thinks.
What about you, Kalyne? You gotta pick one.
I'll probably flip Anthony's.
Flip
answer,
Anthony's.
Only because I went to a Catholic private school in elementary school, and I felt like it was very much, let's push this narrative down your throat. You can't ask questions. If you did, you'd get in trouble. I'd get calls home, and my dad would pick up, and I mean, I've said this before. He'd be like, don't stop asking questions, and my mom would be mad at it.
What kind of question would you ask as a kid? Lil Kalyne.
I would just be like, what do you mean that's what Jesus would do?
That's funny.
It's a good question.
How do we know that?
How do we know that?
How do we know
And
Jesus
it's
would
like,
do
well,
that?
That's just what he would do. I'm like, it just did. It never. It just,
never satisfied
It never
your-
satisfied me. So I don't know. I'll be a Buddhist. That sounds pretty chill.
No.
It all comes down to the articulation. I think that is such an important part. You know what I mean? You're like trying to like teach somebody how to like live their life and like its greatest purpose. And you're educating like a kid who hasn't like come to terms with like the world yet and how it works. And then you're not a good articulate person. So it's like,
I actually like a lot of religion after I studied it on my own.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very true.
When you're running into fucking morons and they just don't know how to speak,
yeah,
you're just like, well, fuck you. I don't like you, because I don't like you and you like religion so much, I'm not whatever you are.
Yeah.
It's the same reason if someone were to stop the freeway, whatever it is they're doing that for.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or outside of the supermarket when they ask you to donate, you're like, I don't care about whales.
That'd be the worst.
I don't care about whales. Now I don't.
I usually love whales, but now hate them.